Let's talk about where it began. Are you originally from Free Soil, or I think you and I had chatted a little bit. You kind of moved around a lot as a kid, or
Yeah, I went to Free Soul Elementary when I was growing up. And then during middle school, I kind of left, moved to Tennessee, and finished out high school in Tennessee. Came back to Michigan shortly and then joined the Marines and
Hua?
rah. And then did 20 years, and then last February I had my retirement ceremony and moved back to good old Free Soil.
What'd you do in the Marines?
So I finished out my career as a career counselor, dealing with you know promotions, reenlistments, career progression, kind of that stuff for the Marines at my unit. Um,
Is that for exiting the military, or?
for reenlisting,
Oh,
if you want
gotcha.
to do a different job, for promotions, what you can do to get promoted, and how to be more competitive in the Marine Corps. So I did that, and then my last, I'd say my last year and a half or so, I found out that my dad had cancer.
Fuck, man.
So the Marine Corps let me come up here to take care of him. I did that for about 6 months, and then they stationed me in Chicago to keep me close to my
Yeah.
dad. My wife moved up here. She would kind of take care of him, watch over him, and then he passed away, and I was already over 20 years, so I was back home in Free Soil. I figured it's time to call it quits and stay in one place, start something here.
Sorry about your dad, man.
Yeah, it sucks. Cancer sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's a lot of people are dealing with it these days, and it's never good.
Seems like more and more.
Yeah,
But you're doing some cool things with that.
yeah,
Leaning into, helping local organizations that help people that are struggling with cancer and treatments. And
yeah. I reached out to the Childhood Cancer Campaign, and I talked to them and seen if they wanted to do something kind of with the restaurant, and they were all about it. So surprisingly, they were okay with our T-shirts, our F Cancer T-shirt. Probably about 3 weeks ago, we started doing that. It's been going great. We've sold probably 100 T-shirts. We've been having bands play. Tyler Reed, Joe Ireland came to play. We have two more bands coming up in the next 2 weeks. They donate all their money they get for playing to the Cancer Foundation. So I think I tallied it up in the last 3 weeks. We're just over $4,000 we've
that's
raised.
pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's been super fun, and that's one good thing about buying the restaurant. It kind of opens a door to help out the community,
Yeah,
and
I feel
you could. There's no reason not to.
Really?
I've been having fun on Facebook. Me and you have done some stuff, and it's been good. And I mean, it cost me nothing to advertise, so why not try to bring some people in the community in and try to help them out and have fun doing it. It seems to be win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I think more businesses should kind of leech onto that, and But let's talk about your restaurant real quick. We could circle back to the fundraising because that's something I'm definitely passionate about. But the restaurant, Doc's.
Dock Sauble River Inn. It's in Free Soil off US 31.
How did that come about for you? That
Uh,
purchase of that restaurant.
so while I was up here taking care of my dad, he loved the fish fry. Every Friday, I'd go into Doc's and pick it up for him, and I just started hanging out there a little bit more, while I was waiting for the to-go orders. And then I started talking to Doc, and it was such a comfortable place, and it's really one of the only things in Free Soil that's besides the Heidi Hoff, which is still open, still the same as it was. We would go to the Heidi Hoff while we were here, me and my wife. They have great pizza. I mean that was kind of the same way that it was when I was growing up. So when I went into the my restaurant, it was just so comfortable. I loved it. So I kept bugging Doc, like, hey, sell me the restaurant, sell me the restaurant. He wouldn't do it. And then finally one day he's like, all right, I'll sell you the restaurant. I was scared to death. 20 years coming out of the Marine Corps, no business experience, no restaurant experience. I had no idea what was going on. I just kind of took it one step at a time, and it ended up working out. You know?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes all you need is a little bit of a dream.
Yeah. Take a chance.
Take a chance.
It definitely turned out okay so far. I haven't burnt the place down, so that's.
I mean, as an outsider looking in, it looks like it's been doing very well.
So everybody told me that the winters are going to be slow. We have been packed.
I can see that.
I mean, every weekend, there's such a great base of people that come into that restaurant that have been coming there for years. And every time, I go in there to work, somebody's telling me a story about how they used to work there 20 years ago, or they used to go there in the 70s and wait for the fish fry, which was lined up down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's every day you go in there, you learn something new, and you see people who have been coming there for years. It's awesome. They're so supportive and nice, and they'll come in every Friday, get the fish fry, have a good time, and it's definitely been a good experience. And we just kind of, Tracy, she's our head waitress. She's kind of the manager of the restaurant. She kind of keeps me grounded. You know what I mean? Like I try to push the envelope on what's acceptable on humor in the Marine Corps and the military, and what's acceptable in the civilian aspect of it. And she's kind of my buffer. She tells me, hey, you got to bring it down a notch, or this is okay. So I just basically do whatever I want until somebody tells me I can't, and then I kind of do a little bit more. It's been great.
Well, you've certainly done a good job with keeping the atmosphere and the vibe very open, welcoming. When you post pictures on social media of your customers enjoying the time.
Yeah.
Dude, it's always packed there on the weekends.
Yeah, the weekends are really good, and I the only thing I can attribute that to is Facebook. I mean, we post fun pictures on Facebook. Me and Tracy kind of have this back and forth banter. And people like to see their friends at the restaurant. I mean, if you go through any post, it's always, hey, I know them, or hey, I know them, or hey, let's go there next weekend.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I like looking and seeing like, oh, look at all these people that I know.
And it's all smiles.
Yeah, dude.
You know what it's just a fun atmosphere. And I tried it like Monday morning. Me and Tracy will have a little meeting, and I'll say, hey, this week we're going to do this, or let's celebrate this. Let's have a party here, or Mardi Gras is coming up. Let's do this. And we just do it. We're such a small restaurant, that we can pretty much do whatever we want in that aspect and have fun with it. And I think that's what really kept it busy over the winter is, just involving the customers, involving the local community. We've supported them already, and they've definitely been supporting us, and I think it's working.
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah, it absolutely is.
yeah.
What are you going to do with all the, or what have you done with the property itself? I mean, I know that there's some little cabins on there that have been falling apart for years.
Yeah, they were in rough shape. We went back and forth. We were going to try to figure out, whether we're going to remodel them and try to get that aspect of it going again. Really, just financially, it didn't make sense. It was too costly. So what we decided was we're going to take down the cabins, which we've already started that process, clean up the property, and then hopefully at the end of next month, we'll start building the stage out back. We'll have bands on Saturday nights and try to do some more fundraising with that. Maybe get more local bands to play. We can donate that money, to local community and keep that going. It's just we've had bands inside, and like I said, we've been doing that for the last couple of weeks. But it's such a small restaurant that it really hinders the ability to fit everybody, serve food, and keep that going. So I think building the stage out back, getting bands to donate their time, we can donate their money that they raise to the community and try to keep that going. We're going to try to do something for an organization probably 2 to 3 times a year.
That's rad, man.
Some kind of fundraiser. So my wife calls it my hobby.
Dude, no small business owner thinks of their business as a hobby.
Yeah, she thinks it's funny. She definitely gets a kick out of me running, and like I said, she thinks it's my hobby. We're not gonna make tons of money there. It's just fun.
Yeah, sure.
It's fun to be back in the community, and it's fun to help as much as I can.
I like your wife.
She's funny.
She's funny, dude. Where did you meet her?
We actually met her in D.C., or I met her in D.C. I was stationed out there, and she was living in Maryland. She's from Poland, We went on a
It's
couple
very
dates.
evident when you talk to her that she's from Poland.
We went on a couple dates. She fell in love with me
Right away, I'm sure.
You know, it's an
Yeah.
instant love connection. What
Yeah.
what can I do? And then, you know, here we are, 3 or 4 years later. It's been great. We do a Polish night, you know, once or twice a year.
Yeah,
we're
talk
gonna
about
do
that Polish night, dude, because the last one that you had was the lineup for that.
It was crazy. She made everything by scratch. She had a couple people helping her out, and it was, I think she made 130 plates. We sold out in probably 2 hours. I mean, at 3 o'clock, the line was wrapped around the door. I had to go out there and tell
Yeah,
everybody.
that
You know,
sucks.
we have 65 seats. We had John Merrick playing polka music, which he's amazing. You know, we've had him there twice now. He does a great job. He has a huge following. So it was just, I went out there and I told him, I said, look, enjoy the music, enjoy the food, sit down. You got 7 minutes.
You got 7
You know,
minutes.
once you sit in that seat, you got 7 minutes, eat your food and get out because there's a whole nother group of people that want to get in. But everybody was super cool with it. I mean, they were real respectful. They came in, had a good time, and helped rotate the tables out so everybody could enjoy. But that was a huge thing. And I think, you know, Manistee having such a large Polish community,
Sure.
I think they really appreciated that. So,
Yeah. Even if you're not Polish, if you're from Manistee,
Yeah.
you're kind of Polish.
yeah. She loved it. My wife's enjoyed it. You know, she has a full-time job, so it's hard to do it too often. There's a lot of people that wanted us to put Polish food on the menu, and it just
Well, I mean, if you're going to stay authentic, if you're going to make that shit from scratch, it's kind of hard to keep it on the
it
menu.
takes a lot of work, and she
Yeah.
really worked her butt off to make that happen. And it's not something we can do on a daily basis.
Sure.
But I
But dude, an every now and then thing.
yeah, and I think that's what it's good. You know, people appreciate it more when it's not every day.
Right.
You know, and we've been so busy at the restaurant that you know, we get tons of comments like, expand the restaurant, make it bigger, you know, we got to fit more people. I really don't want to.
Also, it costs money to do that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
And when you're turning 65 seats at a
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
you know, I'm not making, you know, enough money to, we'll just say an Applebee's to where you have a whole corporation behind you can just do whatever you want. And I really want it to be kind of a situation ultimately where, you know, you come, you have a good time. Next time you come, you might not make it in. You know, you might have to come back again because it's so busy, but you'll enjoy it every time you
Right.
come. You know, and that seems to be how it's been. You know, people leave, people post up on Facebook how they had such a great time. That's really what I want. I don't want to just kind of turn play
and burn.
restaurant where everybody comes in, they just sit down and eat. You know, they leave, nobody talks to them.
Can't build relationships that way.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, it kind of takes, you're really just going out and going to dinner. You know, I want it to
you
be
eat
an
outside?
experience.
Like in the summer, you can eat outside, yeah?
Yeah, so what we plan on doing is we're going to build the stage.
Nice.
I have about 6 picnic tables right now that we're going to put out there. So I think what we're going to do is for the music aspect of it, and on Saturday nights, we'll probably have somebody cooking outside, you know, grilling hot dogs and hamburgers and kind of that kind of food. You'll be able to order. We're going to put a concession window out the back, so you'll be able to order drinks. And kind of keep that separate from the restaurant portion of it. Only because, you know, like I said, the large base of our return customers, when it's not summertime and it's tourists, is locals who have been coming there for 20 years.
Right.
You know, they might not necessarily want to deal with the music part of it. So I don't want to merge those two together and kind of turn anybody away. So the restaurant aspect will be that, just the restaurant, and then the music portion of it out back. You'll be able to eat, you know, have some dogs and have a couple drinks and listen to some good music.
Yeah.
But
Did you guys change the menu at all? I mean, I know you've added some stuff, but did you change it at all? And the reason why I asked that is because, you know, some local customers be like, ah, shit. You know what I mean? And it's hard, like you said, you're not trying to please everybody. But I could see where there might have been some initial pushback, and that's hard when, like, in your business now, when you get a lot of feedback, pros and cons, positive and negative.
I mean, because there's always going to be people that love when somebody else buys the restaurant and takes over new ownership, and there's going to be people that don't love it. There was some things I took off the menu, like the mac and cheese. We got rid of the smashed potatoes, some smaller things, only due to time restraints.
Sure.
You know, when we were busy this winter, which was totally surprising, but our kitchen is tiny. So to kind of rotate through that many people and have 5 pages of menu, it didn't play out, you know what I mean? And I'd rather have consistency than, 10 extra things on the menu. I'd rather people come in and get the same good food every time they come in, instead of people coming in and having, an extra 10 options that
Right.
might not be as good as.
Well, keeping it cold, and keeping the inventory,
Yeah.
and managing, waste.
Yeah, so that's something we sat down. We sat down, kind of try to figure out what we could get rid of to save time, what we could keep, what people loved, and we kept pretty much everything the same. It's just a few things here and there, due to consistency. Just
Sure.
trying to keep everything a good quality. We get as much as we can from locals. So Brad Brown, we get our beef from him. He's in Riverton. Amazing. The burgers are outstanding. When the Orchard Market is open, we get all our fruits and vegetables from them. So we try to keep everything as local as we can, as fresh as we can. But there's an offset, because I don't want to charge $25 for a burger.
Yeah.
When the beef costs me a little bit more, because
Better be a good burger.
Yeah, I mean, it's so that's the kind of thing you have to play with to try. Some of the stuff you just can't afford to sell when you want to go
Sure.
local, because it costs a little bit more money.
Yeah.
And keep it at a good price for the people that come in there. So I'm trying to figure it out. I have no idea.
Yeah, man. And then, like, when you're looking at the food costs going up, you get a avian bird flu, and now eggs cost $300 a carton.
Yeah, and that's a whole, and we haven't really raised food prices too much. There's a couple things we had. Fish went up a little bit, and the eggs and stuff. So, but I kind of just eat that, right now as much as I can. That's why I say I'll never get rich. I don't know. I'm having so much fun with it.
That's key.
And helping out, doing stuff for like the childhood cancer campaign and seeing how happy people are. That's kind of worth it right there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody, wants to make money and live the dream, but it's just, I think this has been so fun. I haven't really got into the figuring out how to make the money part of it yet.
Sure.
It's tough. It's tough. And like I said, I have 0 restaurant experience. So trying to figure that all out.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, it does sound like you got a pretty damn good team around you there.
Yeah, they all stayed. I mean, Tracy's been there since 2012, I believe. The other waitresses were there, 4 years, 5 years. That was one thing that I made sure when me and Doc did do the deal. If they weren't going to stay, I wasn't going to buy the restaurant, because trying to train a new staff on something that you don't know about is almost impossible.
Yeah.
So I was super lucky they all stayed. Great staff. Ashley's our head cook. Amazing cook. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better team, really. And they carry me. I walk around, I talk to the customers, I wash some dishes here and there.
Yeah.
I kind of act like I'm staying busy, but they run it. And without them, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
And they're amazing, yeah. And they're fun.
And it looks like they kind of enjoy the goof too.
They have fun with the customers.
Nice.
And they love the Facebook back and forth. Me and Tracy kind of push each other, work each other's nerves as much as we can, with ideas on Facebook. And
Yeah.
she pokes at me and I poke at her.
I mean, that's how people see businesses this day, is social media. I mean, the antiquated advertising of the past is kind of,
gone.
there's more, you get more reach online for sure.
And you can track it.
Yeah, and you can track it.
When I first took over, people were coming to me like, hey, put this article in this magazine, $300 a month, and I'm thinking, I'm like, how is this going to work? Like, I'm going to hope that somebody reads this magazine and sees my little, 3x5 article that I just paid $300 for. So I kind of just sat down with Tracy and I said, we're going to have to start hitting this Facebook thing, because you can track, how many new followers you have, how many people see each post every time.
Yeah, where they're from.
People can comment, like, hey, I don't like this, I like this, fix this. It cost me nothing. We buy some props here and there, it cost me a little bit every month. But to, the choice between having fun on Facebook and getting people involved, or paying $300 for a little 3x5 and an ad in a
Right.
magazine, to me it was a no-brainer, and it's been working. We're gonna stick to that, and nothing against that the old way of advertising, I guess you could call it, but it just seems this is working out for us right
Yeah.
now.
I
So
agree. You're
we'll
doing a
keep
good
that
thing there,
going.
dude.
We're trying. We'll see. But I appreciate, people like you, other people who we're gonna do some stuff with Third Life Brewery, and then
Shout out to Jameson.
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, Jameson's good shit.
We've been working on some stuff. So that's the local community, and it's hard. It's hard living in free soil, because it's so small and there's nothing there. So it's hard to say that you work with the local community when there's no other businesses there besides the Dollar General and the gas station up there with the Heidi Hoff, which hopefully we can do some stuff in the future with the Heidi Hoff. That'd be fun, some back and forth. But so I guess our local community is really Manistee and Ludington is involved in that, because that's where the majority of my people come in, to dine is from Ludington and
Yeah,
Manistee. So
and in the summer they come from way farther
Yeah.
south and east and north for sure.
yeah, and we've got some people that came in. They drove from Detroit. They said, "Hey, we've seen your stuff on Facebook. We love it. We had the day off. We just drove up here to try it out." Interlaken, Petoskey. And that's the good thing about talking to everybody. I try to walk around and
Yeah, find out where they're from.
Yeah, Doc taught me that. He used to walk around and talk to all the tables. It's awesome because, if you didn't do it, you wouldn't find those things out. So when
Right.
somebody comes in from Detroit, they drove all the way here just to eat at our restaurant and enjoy the food. That's what we love. So that's why we post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's crazy to us. It blows our mind that somebody would drive that far to try out this little dive bar, in Free Soil, Michigan. So that's why we post their stuff, and they love it.
Well, it's just like a TV commercial from years ago. You keep pumping out the same message, and people are seeing that, and they're associating you with the restaurant, or your pictures with the restaurant. That guy seems cool. His staff seems great. Hey, we're dry. I get it a lot here at the store. People are like, well, we decided to take a ride north or south, and we thought, hey, we're close. Why don't we stop at that Manistee beverage?
Yeah.
That goofy bastard you see online all the time. The same thing's happening to you now. So keep it up, man, because you're gonna pull extra business because of it. So.
Oh yeah, I think and seeing the stuff that you make is kind of what inspired us to try to start doing that. I'm not at the video level like you are. It's hard. That's very hard to come up with, and
But it's coming.
maybe I don't know. I don't have the same. Your back and forths are super funny, but you've definitely kind of influenced what we're doing, because it's funny. It laughs.
I appreciate it, because sometimes my wife is like, ugh, that last one you did.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's funny stuff. So that's kind of where we came up with the idea. Not to the video aspect of it, but the pictures. I can handle pictures.
You can handle pictures.
That's
yeah.
So it's been fun. Everybody's been super inviting.
Do you have a website or just Facebook?
Just Facebook. We do have a Doc Sauble River Inn. We have a website I'm working on. It's up. It's not the best website. I'm trying to learn that as we go.
But people can find just about everything they need to know on your Facebook
Absolutely.
page?
Yep, on Facebook, or they could go to the website. I mean, there's menus on Facebook. There's times, hours, reviews, photos, comments. I mean, everything you need is up there.
Nice.
It's been good.
Well, good.
It's been fun. We'll
Thanks
see
for
what
coming on the
happens.
show, and
Appreciate
hopefully
it.
we can
Yeah.
draw some more traffic towards you. Good luck in the future and for the summer, and I think it's going to be rad, man.
I appreciate it. We'll see
Appreciate
you
you.
out there.
Keep it up.